my God, I love Nadine. She is a hot mess, but I love Nadine, the shade queen. Hello, lovely people. Welcome to my virtual couch. Happy Friday to ya. We're still doing the Unprisoned review, and then we are doing part 2 with Catherine Hensley. We're going to talk about surviving and recovering from trauma. So it's been busy. It's been a busy week. In my last video, we did part 1 with Catherine Hensley, and we talked about pregnancy loss, how to deal with it, if you're a family member, how to support someone with it. I think it's a very important topic. In part 2, I talk about my own journey of dealing with pregnancy loss and how I dealt with it. So yeah, maybe I'll do another video about that. Got lots of stuff cooking in my head. Anyway, so season 1, episode 3, Are You My Mother Wound? All right. Honestly, guys, this episode was just meh. It was okay. I really, I don't know. I wasn't feeling it, but I still stuck through. Usually I'll watch like an episode twice, but this one I watched it one time. So I may miss some things, but either way, I'm still going to do the review. Cheers to the Olivia Pope. All right, this is my Olivia Pope glass. I can't drink too much wine because it's still during the day and I got a bunch of stuff to do today. So we're just going to take small steps. Anyway, episode 3. Episode 3 opens up with Paige. She's doing a therapy session with a woman who has an overbearing mother. The client is talking about the mom has forced her to put her daughter in soccer or something like that. And she's just complaining about having an overbearing mother. And Paige is like, oh, by the way, my son did basketball and I ended up pulling him out. And then the client goes, well, my mother would say you're raising a quitter. What did your mother say? So obviously that makes, so Kerry Washington kind of like chuckles because we know she's got mother issues, right? Okay. So now she's doing her live. It looks like she does her live every day. And now she's talking about mother wound. And she tells her audience that her father being there has kind of reminded her of the mother issues that she has. It looks like her biological mother abandoned her because she says, I couldn't even pick out my biological mother out of a lineup. And then she says she has her foster mother, Carol, who she adores. She calls her a saint. And then she says from 8 to 18, the dad's ex-girlfriend, which is Nadine, raised her, right? But she doesn't call her the M word. So we already know that, she doesn't like Nadine, right? So go to another scene. Nadine is actually watching her live in bed with Edwin. So she's all upset. Like, she didn't call me. She owes me an apology. I did a lot for her, So Nadine's mad, right? And I'm like, Nadine, why are you watching her live if it's always going to make you mad? But whatever. Why do we do what we do? Anyway, so Edwin is like, oh, it's going to take time. Forgive her. And they do. Okay. So anyway, she's venting. She's upset, because she's not getting the acknowledgement that she wants as Paige's mother. Honestly, from 8 to 18, that is a long time. But anyway, fast forward to the next scene. Paige is reading the book, The Power of Attachment. I actually haven't read that book, but I heard that book is really good. And then she's looking at Finn, and she's starting to ask Finn, are you getting what you need from me as a mother? And Finn is like, Mom, you're doing it again. So I guess Finn is like, Mom, you are trying to be my therapist. Don't do that. The doorbell rings, and look who it is. It is Mal, the caseworker, okay? And he shows up with food. You can tell Mal is feeling Paige, but Paige doesn't realize that Mal is feeling her, okay? So Mal is like, I'm here to see your dad. Now Mal has shown to your dad. Now Mal has showed up unannounced, okay? And it's interesting because Paige is like, oh, you're here to see my dad. And Mal's like, yeah, I'm here to see your dad. Clearly, he's here to see both of y'all. So Mal says to Edwin, hey, you know, maybe I should come check out your job and see how you're doing. And meanwhile, Finn can hear this. Remember last episode, Edwin does not have a job, okay? So Finn hears this and interrupts them because he's trying to save Edwin. Finn distracts Mal, right? So Paige is showing Mal her fridge, and she's like, oh, as you can see, everything's organic. And Mal is like, look, unless you have meth in your fridge, I don't care what you eat. And then Paige is like, well, one time my foster parents put a kilo in my Barbie dollhouse. And Mal was like, oh, well, I'm sure that was good for Barbie and Ken, but not good for you. So then so Paige looks at Edwin and is like, well, you know, and then Nadine raised me. And Edwin is like, look, Nadine kept you out of a group home. And Paige is like, you staying out of prison would have kept me out of a group home, right? Nadine owes me an apology. So Edwin is lying, of course. And Edwin is like, oh, but she's ready to give you an apology. Now, keep in mind, Nadine says that Paige owes her an apology. Paige says that Nadine owes her an apology. Edwin's trying to play middleman. And Edwin's like, yeah, she's ready to give you an apology. You know, give her a chance. Anyway. So now in the next scene, there is a meeting with Edwin, Nadine, and Paige, and it's awkward. And they're trying to make small talk because Edwin is getting them a coffee or whatever. And Paige is like, oh, so Nadine, I heard that you work for the mayor's office. And Nadine's like, yes, I got my master's. Or I think she said MBA. I don't remember what she said. She said, I got my MBA. A lot has changed since you've been around. Trying to show Paige like, yeah, I've got myself together, right? So, I think she said MBA. So anyway, she says, you know, you should really thank me for raising you. I gave you the best 10 years of my life. And Paige is like, thank you. Like, you were yelly, you were intense, you know. And so they're going back and forth. And Edwin is like, okay, just stop. You know, it's going to be okay. Just trying to calm the situation. So then Nadine is like, Nadine is telling Paige, like, I don't like how you portray me on your lives. And Paige is like, if you don't like my lives, stop watching it. So Nadine is like, if Carol is such a saint, then why haven't you gone to see her? I heard that you don't go to see her, right? So Nadine starts to cuss Paige out. You treat us all the same. You're ungrateful. And of course, Paige is triggered. The little girl comes out and grabs her and goes, it's time to get out of here. Okay, so the little girl, she transforms her little girl self, and the little girl takes her away, right? So her and the little self goes to sit in the car. So basically, she's talking to herself, okay? And then the little girl says, why haven't we gone to see your foster mom? And her big self is like, I don't know. Why haven't we? And then the little girl's like, let's change that, right? So it seems like Paige, no matter the situation, no matter if it's a positive situation or negative situation, either way, she isolates herself, right? The attachment stuff, she just isolates herself, right? So next scene is church. So apparently Paige's foster dad is a priest or pastor, whatever you want to call him. And they go to church, and Paige's like, this is my happy place. Edwin's with them, the sister's with them, Finn is with them. And she's basically giving Carol the credit that she deserves. And her little self transforms again, and the little self is on the podium and is basically giving Carol the praise. Like, thank you for raising me, things like that, right? So after church, they all decide they're going to have a Sunday dinner. And they're all in the house, and Paige is cooking. And then a doorbell rings. Guess who it is? It's Mal. And he's got flowers. He's got hydrangeas. And I think it's for Paige, but he says it's for your dad, right? And so Paige is like, oh, and all the time she spent with my dad, you guys talk about flowers. So then the dad comes like, oh, hydrangeas. I love these, you know? So, and then they're looking at each other like, okay. So Mal comes in, the sister is like, ooh, who's that? And Paige is like, down girl, down girl. Anyway, so then they're talking, and then Paige's foster dad says to Edwin, hey, you know, I have a friend that works for the thrift store. If you want a job, here's a card. Now remember, Mal is there and everybody's under the impression that Edwin has a job at the restaurant. So Edwin's like, oh no, I have a job. Thank you though. So Finn is looking like, here we go. Finn tells the foster dad, hey, you know, I might be looking for a job, so I'll take the cars. So again, he's trying to rescue Edwin. All right. Then doorbell rings again. Who is that? It's Nadine. And she goes, here, I brought vodka. You know what? I kind of like Nadine. She's a hot mess, but I kind of like her. So Nadine comes in. Nadine sees Finn and it's like, here, grandson, give me a hug. Good to see you again. And then Paige is looking like, what? Paige goes to Edwin and is like, I don't want her here. Why did you invite her? She's met my son before. How could you? And Edwin's like, look, give her a chance. We are family. Just let it go. Nadine introduces herself. Oh, let me back up. So when Maul first came in, Carol introduced herself to Maul as Paige's mom. Okay, no problem. So then when Nadine comes in, Nadine goes, hello, I'm Paige's mom. So now Maul is all confused. Maul is like, this family is more jacked up than I thought, right? So Edwin is like, look, just give Nadine a chance. You know, we're family, you know? So they're having dinner, and Carol and the sister and Paige are telling stories about how Paige was little, right? So, first let me back up. So they say dinner, right? They're saying grace, and the father, the priest, is going on and on and on and on and on, right? Like those never ending prayers. Like, come on, can we wrap it up? I gotta eat. And then so the father goes, and bless Carol for being the heart and soul of this family. So you know Nadine is triggered, right? So Nadine goes, so when they go, amen, Nadine goes, and bless all those mothers who didn't have to get an effing check, but still did a good job. Effing men. And everybody's like, okay. And so Paige is looking at Edwin like, you brought her here. All right. So now they are complimenting Carol's food. Oh, this food is so great. This is wonderful, right? And then Paige is like, oh, Mom, you did a great job on the food. Thank you so much. So again, Nadine is triggered, okay? And then Nadine is like, Finn, can you pass me the salt? And she starts on the food. And Paige is like, are you serious? And Nadine is like, it's a little bit bland. It tastes like white people made it. Oh my God. I love Nadine. She is a hot mess, but I love Nadine. The shade. So she's like, you need to say thank you to me. I introduced you to Madonna and Warhol. Anyway, so Edwin is like, look, this is not a competition. And then Paige is like, it's not. Then they break out. So her younger self comes in and they break out into this whole dance scene. So it's like an imaginary dancing. So I didn't really understand the purpose of that scene. It was kind of silly to me, but whatever. So whatever. They're having a dance competition between Carol and Nadine. Nadine does the death drop. I mean, it was cute, but I was just like, whatever. Like, you could have cut that scene out. Anyway, so they snap back to reality. And Edwin tells Paige, do you want to be right or do you want to be free? Like, you need to forgive Nadine. So Paige is like, I don't know if I can do that, but I can say thank you for showing me the things that you did show me, right? Then Nadine says, when are you going to start calling me mom? And then they're like, okay, you're moving too fast. Back up. Anyway, so dinner's over. And Paige is washing dishes. And of course, Mal tells her, hey, you know, your family's here. They love you, X, Y, and Z. So now Paige knows that Mal is feeling her because she's leaning close to her. And then Paige is like, oh, I see you're going to kiss me. And Mal's like, I wasn't going to, but now I'm going to. Do I think it's ethical? Not really, because technically, I mean, Paige is not his client, but Edwin is your client and you're messing with his daughter. I don't know. I just think it's unethical. I don't know, whatever. Oh, the bond over the fact that Mal calls Nadine a cluster B personality says that Nadine has a cluster B personality disorder, so they bond over that. Anyway, so they kiss, and Mal is texting her. She's giggling. He's like, good night, cutie. And then Nadine texts her, she don't respond. Finn comes to Paige and is like, Mom, I really like church. And I like the pot roast, and I like our family. And you know, the thing that's interesting is like, so that makes me realize that they've been isolated. So before Edwin came into the picture, it's just been Paige and Finn. So they've just been isolated. There's no family dynamic. There's no family unit. There's no warmth, right? So I think that Finn really liked the fact that the family came over, like they brought life to the house. So Edwin goes to Finn's room and is like, look, you no longer need to cover for me. I got this. I don't want you to get caught up in my mess. And Finn was like, I know it wasn't right, but it was right. You know what I mean? And Edwin's like, I know what you mean, but you don't have to cover for me. So Finn gives Edwin the card and it's like, here. So Finn is basically like, here, go get the job. But overall, I thought the episode was just okay. I'm excited to see what happens in episode 4. I really like that Edwin and Finn are really bonding. They're bonding over they accept each other. They don't judge each other. They accept each other. So I really like that. Anyway, don't forget to like and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys. Cheers.